Are we good?
I have.
Yeah.
Make
Okay,
sure
then
everybody-
your
No, it's not her, it's me. Sorry. I didn't realize it
I
was
was like,
I should have
logged
never
in.
gone through. No, sorry.
Right, and then make sure you're muted, Marcia, please.
Rolling on the list.
Oh, see, it was me.
It's a
Okay.
team effort.
My machine wasn't.
Hitting record.
How's that look? Good, awesome. Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday, January 15th, 2026. It is 6:05 PM and this is the Bluff Planning and Zoning regular meeting, our first for 2026. So before we get anything official going, no, let's do roll call, then I'll do it. And roll call is Marcia Haydenfeld, Vice Chair, acting as Chair this evening.
Brian Whitney.
Malia Collins.
Hey, and also in the gathering, we have new commissioners to be sworn in, and we have town represented by,
Erin Nelson, Town Manager.
thank you. I want to take 1 second before you do anything official and say Happy New Year to everyone and say how much we appreciate the people that have moved along from their duties at planning and zoning. Gary actually stepped up and went to town council, for which we are grateful for his commitment. And most importantly to Amanda Podmore, who led this team for 7 incredible years, taught us everything she knew and taught us how to do it right too. I always appreciated that as things would get carried away or on to the next thing, she would just bring us all back down to earth. And I so appreciated that. So thank you to all of that. Thank you to Mayor Ann Lepinen, who also has moved along in her life and is always great about communicating with planning and zoning. We appreciate that. So that was my official speech as vice chair. Let's get into our agenda this evening, which is to begin with swearing in the newest planning and zoning commissioners. We're excited to have you join us, and we're going to turn it over to Erin Nelson in her capacity as recorder. Is that, or, you know?
Oh, good question. Okay, so as a notary and or a notary public, as well as the town recorder, as appointed by the mayor, I get to issue oaths of office now. So woohoo. So Anne, are you okay if we have you go first?
Sure.
All right.
As long as you tell me what I'm doing.
If you, I know, I did not get there early enough. I'll have you stand up and I am gonna have you repeat after me. You're also just gonna read this. So repeat after me. So raise your right hand. You solemnly affirm that I will support, obey, and defend
I do solemnly affirm that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Wonderful. I'll have you keep that sheet, and at the end of the meeting, we'll get all of it signed and notarized and all the fancy official stuff, if you're okay with that.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Fabulous.
That's fine. That's Ann Brown joining us.
And Caitlin, go ahead and stand up here. I don't know.
Yes,
Got our-
thank you.
I've got one for you as well.
Thank you.
All right, so similar, you're going to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly affirm that I will obey or support, obey, and defend
I do solemnly affirm that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Utah,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Thank you. Caitlin. And I guess I should confirm, do I need to have it signed before they can participate, or do I just have to issue the oaths?
I think you're fine doing the
So
notary aspect.
we're gonna do it after the meeting, so make sure you can, you
Yeah,
can get your
Yes.
official feel in it.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'll get the official
Seal.
seal, but you are sworn now. And
Planning and zoning commission.
hey,
Wow.
Actually, gang.
we're good.
Hey! Whoa.
Oh, man.
We're-
Uh-oh.
So,
You guys have done well.
We are all sitting. so-
next thing,
Sorry.
the next thing we're going to do is every year, for those of you who haven't been here, every year we elect a chair and vice chair of this committee. The duties of the chair involve running the meeting, preparing for the meeting with regard to the agenda, which we're gonna get into a little bit later, who's doing what for that paperwork aspect of it, so we'll wait on that. But the agenda and any official duty things such as signing documents, distributing documents accordingly. So the chair has the head of the table duties that you can imagine any chair would have. Vice chair, as chair in charge of vice for the last couple of years, I can tell you it's a good job with regard to being able to help out and or take over if needed, if chair can't be there. It has no specific duty, that the chair has, vice chair has no specific duties with regard to paperwork, other distribution, but takes over in the case of a missing chair at the time. And so those are the two officers that we're going to elect now. And typically what we've done is we've gone around the table to see if anyone has a nomination. And when that nomination comes, we say to the person, you think you want to do it? And we kind of proceed from there. So I will open the table to nominations for Chair of Planning and Zoning Commission. Comments, questions, or nominations? Go ahead, Ann.
I nominate Marcia Haydenfeld as chair. Would you like to consider that?
I thank you for that. I have, I guess my answer is I'd rather not. I will absolutely do that if needed. I prefer not to because I've tried to step back from committing myself to time and duties that are taking up time and duties of my very retired life. So I prefer not, but I appreciate the respect and I'm happy to help whatever we decide to do. Having said that, I would like to nominate Malia Collins as chair. I think that she brings expertise, experience, and things like technical know-how. And I would ask her the same question. Is that something that interests you?
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
It interests me. I do have a question to ask Aaron, though. As a town employee, if it would, how that would work out, if that would be okay.
Yeah, I did not receive a definitive yes or no. We do acknowledge that we are a very small community where individuals tend to wear multiple hats. I would remind you that you are a commission of 5, and so it's very important that, you know, all voices are heard equally. So if for some reason you felt as though Malia was not able to, you know, bring your concerns, you know, and put them on the agenda, we certainly would want to acknowledge that. I don't think that will be the case. But I do just, I want to recognize that it is a unique situation. We are a small town. Many towns go through issues with that. But I did not receive a definitive yes or no. So, I think you would be okay to accept that nomination if voted upon.
I did look in I was busy reading all day. I was in the state municipal code trying to track it down.
Oh.
I was in our code, zoning codes and such today, looking it up, and in between got the phone call to run and help with balloons at the kids with the school, which is fine. So much for not doing balloons this year. Anyway, no problem. The answer I came up with was I didn't see anything, but I didn't have time to dig further than further. the other thing is, I agree with Erin, and that is most municipal law says small towns are exempt from a lot of that, meaning nepotism and employees and things like that, because there are only a few of us. So I nominated you with the idea that I think it works. If we hear otherwise from our attorney, if we vote you in and the attorney comes back and goes, whoa, you know, she can be on it, but she can't be chair or something like that, we can revisit.
That's a great idea.
So at the moment, we have a nomination for Malia, who seems to think she can do this. And I would like to know if there are other nominations.
I don't necessarily nominate anyone else. I wanna just, is it something you actually wanna put on your plate? Like, I don't mean to.
Yeah, I appreciate the
to trim the
question.
fat, cause I
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. What's your
Just-
next, buddy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I think you would be better at it than me. I'd be happy to take it on, but I'm not. Also, it's never been my strong point is that type of organization. Just to be really frank about it. I'd be happy to do it if it felt like something that was really overwhelming you. And you didn't feel like it was something you needed to do. Yeah, I have less town. More town bandwidth rather,
Yeah.
to say it in a positive way. And so, know that you don't have, like, it's not out of obligation. If it's something you want to do, that's great. But also, I know that you have other things.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I've had quite a few conversations with Aaron about it and thinking about the amount of work that it will require and the amount of time that I'm already in the office and a matter of keeping those separate, but a lot of the planning and zoning things oftentimes end up falling onto staff. And so it does kind of
Yep.
feel like it could be a good fit if I were to take it on. So I feel okay with it. And unless, if you really want.
I mean, I would do it out of the,
Yeah, I was like, that sounds like maybe a really good excuse for a second nomination for vice chair.
yeah, I mean, I would definitely do that. I would happily take on vice chair and. If you're,
Ready?
yeah, I'd be ready to take over. And yeah, I could also, it could be, if it's just busy sometimes too. You know, if there's other, I mean, I don't know if that duty makes sense. Then you
Okay.
can just pawn it off.
So what if
More
we
than Amanda
nominate-
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what if we nominate you for chair
yeah,
and let the commission decide?
that's
that-
also fine with me. Yeah, that's
We
totally
can-
fine.
Another way that we can do it, just
Yeah.
once again, because we're small and united here, is to say, do it as a slate and say chair and vice chair and one vote gets us who we get. But I don't want anyone taking on anything they don't want to do, but I'm leaning towards the idea that with the experience of I mean, I agree with you completely that Malia's like,
Yeah,
but I think that's one of her sort of areas of
Yes.
expertise.
Yeah.
Taking it all.
totally.
So I don't know, that's another way we could look at this. So at the moment, we have a nomination for chair from Malia.
I just, yeah, whatever I said.
It was a real nomination for Brian. as well.
Yeah.
And a nomination for Brian.
And Harsha.
Yeah.
I feel like, is there a universe where like, you know, you mentioned that there aren't any official duties for the vice chair, right? And is there a universe where we maybe hash that out a little bit as like Malia's feeling out the amount of responsibility or, you know?
And some of that may come to fruition a little bit later in our agenda when we talk about the assignments.
Yeah.
For example, Brian was our physical poster of, he posted the agendas and stuff. Well, staff,
He did
the
great.
office is doing things
That's great to
differently
hear.
now.
Okay.
So it's possible that we assign accordingly.
Sweet.
And so maybe that is what it is. So what we can do is vote on nominations for chair. And the nominations for chair at the moment are Marcia, Malia and Brian.
Can I take you off that?
Okay. I was gonna say, I would like to refuse that on the grounds that it could kill me. Yeah. And so let's leave it to the nominations for Malia and Brian. And everybody take a moment. And would you like to do this secretly, or is everyone comfortable holding up hands? Because I can do it on pieces of paper and hand the pieces of paper to Erin.
I don't
So,
know if you're allowed to do that,
Yeah,
sorry.
I think it has to be
I
public.
think it has to be a public roll call vote for those positions.
I think it was paper also. I'm happy to say, all in favor of Malia as chair. Aye, aye, aye.
I
Three.
gotta throw it I ain't gonna throw it in because, yeah.
All right,
I,
I would like to nominate Brian as vice chair.
Can I second that?
I'm thrilled to hear that he would like to step it up
Yeah.
and I agree with you. We
Yeah.
can work out a few things where we go, oh, you'd like to do the,
You can.
paper balloons, then.
I mean, I'm happy to do that, exactly. You pick what you don't want to do. Write it in job description.
perfect. I,
Uh,
Aye.
Okay. We have five. Thank you so much, everyone. This is so nice. I'm here to help, but I'm not gonna do it.
No, it's good.
Thank you. I think on that order that I can turn this over to the chair. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you for getting up.
Yes, thank you, Marta, for always being present, for
Yeah.
No problem.
stepping in when Amanda wasn't here or whenever it was needed.
yes.
You're welcome, and I'm still here, so.
It's why we all wanted you to secretly be chair, but we can
Yeah.
respect your desire to not be chair. That's very fair. I think it's very fair.
I would like to live the retired life where we're never here.
Yeah. okay,
Unfortunately,
that's
we've
fair.
had too much going on in our lives to
fair.
do that, but we're hopeful.
Now you can.
Right,
And
Vegas, here we
The
go.
power of
in
Zoom.
March.
So moving along, we have approval of meeting minutes from December 4th, 2025.
My
I
God.
have pulled them up on the screen. And so, I know, right? So.
I think I put one or two things that were typo type things. I don't
Yes,
believe I had
I
any.
see them here, so.
Yeah,
Discussion regarding non-operable RVs and FOWs being used as storage structures. The commissioners agreed the location of these structures must be in accordance with setback requirements. Does everyone agree that the one's
Yep.
there? And then the commission expressed appreciation of the addition of the density table. I'm gonna add some spaces in
Yeah.
there. Perfect. And it looks like we still maybe had a little typo.
Yep.
There we go. And then Lebanon noted that the direction from the attorney is to remove all criminal enforcement language instead of to. I'm gonna add a space there. Thank you, Marcia, for reviewing those and putting those in. And so new commissioners, as you see, we keep these as live documents and then you can go through as you're reviewing them with comments or edits. We ask that you do everything in suggestion or reviewing mode so that we can go through it at the meeting and approve or deny the edits.
Who takes the minutes?
it takes.
Yay for.
Yeah.
As she scribbles.
I usually be on here already, but I realized I'm sharing my screen up there, so that does not work. That's okay. Most of the meetings me answering stuff, so.
I make a motion to approve the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting minutes for December 4th as corrected.
I second that.
Yes.
New kids, you can second too, and you can make more. Okay.
And all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
nays?
yeah,
Opposed?
an abstention. The only reason I say abstention is sometimes people who weren't at the meeting will abstain. You do not have to. You can agree because I think you were sitting here, weren't you? Whatever. And so you say it, but don't forget that.
Excellent, perfect. Thank you, thank you. Moving right along, public comment, up to 3 minutes per comment. If there's anyone in person, it does not look like we have anyone in our mini chairs here. We were expecting a large crowd. Or anyone online, if they would like to make a public comment. Please raise your hand, put your name in the chat. We'll give you another couple of seconds. moving right along, old business, update from town council.
Alrighty, so I'm not town council, but I am town admin, so I will go ahead and provide the update. I guess the first of which, during so the council has met. Well, at least a couple times since your last meeting.
Oh.
So it's been a minute since you all met. I'll recap January, and if there's anything from December, maybe you can tag team this one with me, Malia. In the January meetings, on the 6th and the 13th, we do have two new council members, as well as Spencer, who assumed Luann's midterm vacancy. There was just, some basic annual resolutions that needed to be passed, including banking resolutions. And then I was appointed as town recorder. Jen remains treasurer. Britt remains mayor pro tem. During the work session, so there was a public, there was a public hearing for the community development block grant application, in which we received a little bit of feedback from the public about potentially applying for grant funds. That's something that Malia has been working on with her town job. The council did discuss in the work session immediately after that, doing an application for the Cooperative Cultural Center building, specifically for asbestos mitigation, would probably be the best use of an application, given that the total grant amount from the agency that's going to be distributed to like all of the state of Utah is
Just our region.
Oh, just our region, sorry. But for the total grants amount would be like 500,000 roughly. And so, asbestos removal is specifically noted in there. Council did also talk about boards and committees, in which they talked about, they've often had a town council representative at your meetings. The goal is to kind of spread participation. And so, since I am already sitting in on these meetings, as well as Malia, we will kind of be those liaisons, but also be flagging the agendas for town council members to which meetings would be really helpful for them to show up to. So maybe it's a work session where a lot of engagement would be helpful. Or, you guys are doing a really in-depth document review for an ordinance, and it's going to be helpful to get that, ahead of council before you vote to move it on. So I will be kind of monitoring agendas and definitely taking your feedback as well. Hey, we want a joint meeting with town council, or hey, I think it would be really helpful to have a town council representative at this next meeting. I'll make sure that we get proper participation. But meetings like tonight, where it's a lot of administrative, me telling you stuff, we're trying to optimize their time, and the hope is that we can kind of spread the workload between everyone. And kind of saying back to town council, they talked about potentially having the chair report out. But it'll kind of be that same administrative, hey, maybe we do want another planning and zoning member to show up as a representative to town council. But I think more than not, let's really optimize like the work sessions and joint work sessions to make sure that things are getting across everyone's desks. So there's not a big hang up at the approval process. In December, there were a couple ordinances and resolutions passed, notably the cemetery board. I think that was maybe just before the last planning and zoning, so maybe I already gave that update. The cemetery board applications did come in. We've got 4 for 3 seats. So that's going to be coming down the line. Other land use stuff.
The general plan was approved.
General plan was approved. I don't have the final document out yet. It still needs some formatting, but the wording is correct. And then the zoning, all of your hard work on the RV ordinance that moved into our zoning code has been updated. So please make sure, I know that was, that's a pretty big change coming back over from legal counsel to have it incorporated in the zoning code. So if anyone has questions about, I know you all kind of looked at it here, but as you're getting onboarded and familiarized with that, please let me know if you have questions or, oh, well, I thought I saw this. And, so we're always working with new and amended ordinances, but that's a big one. And so when we get into some of the training stuff a little bit lower, we can definitely touch on that. Any questions, comments? Did I miss anything?
Reviewing the old minutes now, I think we're good.
Alright.
Nice work, great memory. Any questions of the commission to Aaron?
Thank you.
Thank you for the thoroughness. There were a couple of things in there, but I'm sure that Kristen will touch on those, because moving on, number 2, update from the building department.
Right, last month we were approved to do a special project on 2 items. One was the on-site wastewater regulations. And then the other is updating the ordinances and making sure that those are cross-referenced to each other. I want to do a special shout out to Dennis Shumway for hustling on this project for us. We literally were able to push through it in a week. And so he kicked butt right there with me. So that was completed and a final draft was sent on Friday, the 9th. I want to touch base on that just a little bit because we've been getting a lot of questions. This is a hot item. And some clarification of what we found along the way, just for both this council as well as when we go to town council. So what we have found out along the way is that because the San Juan County Board of Health is a jurisdicting body for on-site wastewater systems, this is not a town ordinance at all. So things to note, what town council needs to vote on is vote of support. So the town council is saying, yes, we want the health department to move forward with this. With that being said, the 2 legal approving bodies are going to be San Juan County Board of Health and San Juan County Commission. Because County Commission is over Board of Health, they are the final legal adoption for this county ordinance. Go ahead,
Can I
Malia.
pause you for a sec? Can we rewind a little bit and explain what the project is?
Yeah, I'm getting there. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting there. So I just want everybody to know like a little bit of the process before we get too tizzy fitted. And this is why I did it the way I did it, Malia. I need people to know that we don't have a whole lot of say in this. So here's what the ordinance is. The ordinance is under state code right now that you have to have a minimum lot size of 1 acre in order to have a septic system. That makes 98% of our town non-conforming lots. Because of the grid used to set up our original plan in town, 90% of lots are either 0.41 or 0.48 acres. And that is typically 3 traditional bluff lots put together. So most of us own a parcel that is actually 3 different lots. And that's a quarter of a block. You guys seen the grid? I should have brought a visual.
Well,
So-
it's like Fouché, Haydenfeld, you know, the Jen's house, that kind of thing. It's the 4, if you think of things in 4, the big lots in 4s, yeah.
So, and first of all, I'll say that Dennis did not want to go lower than 1 acre. So this was already kind of a bit of a tough sell right out the gate. And I said, look, we got culinary water, you know, there's these other factors. So the reason why the state has the lot sizes so big is because they're assuming that you're an off-grid system, meaning that you have a well on your property and wastewater on your property, septic at the same time. And you have to get those far enough away from each other so that you're not contaminating your groundwater that you're drinking out of. With us having a culinary water system in town, drinking water in town, we're able to go a little bit smaller. There are still some major hiccups, and I'll say like pretty flat out, I don't think we're going to get Dennis to go any less than 0.4. He was willing to go to 0.5. And I was like, Dennis, that doesn't help us. Because a lot of us are still 0.41. So unless you're really rounding up there, we're, 90% of us are still not compliant. So we navigated this with state code. He agreed to coming up with 0.4 to try to cover as many people as we can so that you're not a non-conforming lot. If you are thinking about this and you're like, crap, my property is 0.3, don't panic. You're considered what they call a non-conforming lot. And what that means in a very short, simple way is you can keep what you have, but you can't add any more. So if you were hoping to do an apartment building out back, you can't because it's too small of a lot. The 0.4 does not guarantee that you can go to that small of a lot. So when we do subdivisions, you actually have to go out and do a perk test per lot and make sure that you can get the soil says that we can get the leach line to work correctly. And so while we are going down to a 0.4, we would like to go down to a 0.4, and planning code is going to have to match that. That's part of step 2 of this process is we've got to make sure that our minimum lot sizes are going to 0.4. That does not guarantee that a 0.4 acre lot is a buildable lot with a septic. So I need people to know that very upfront. The checklist that we have in that ordinance is not debatable. It is a checklist from the state that if you're going to go down to 0.4, you have to be able to prove these things. Part of that is really master planning your site so that you're not driving over your leach line. You have space for a replacement system so that you can replace a system before the old one fells. And these types of things. It has to be designed by a wastewater certified designer. And so that checklist we can't budge on. So while I just want people to know where we stand as a town, while we were the main, we couldn't ask Dennis to put a lot of time into this. So it had to come from within. So I drafted it and did a lot of the legwork so that he could stay in the good graces that all of his weekly hours weren't going specifically to the town of Bluff. However, he did put in many an hour for us to review this in compliance with his state codes. But basically the only thing that we can discuss as a town, and this would be for town council, is going more than 0.4. I would strongly suggest that we don't, that we leave it at 0.4 is the minimum we can get. That's the best compromise we could find. But with Dennis being the sponsor of this to the county ordinances, I don't think you're going to get him to come down any more than 0.4. So any questions on all that?
Wow.
Thank you, that was
Yeah.
very clear.
Yeah, thanks for all your hard work on it.
It sounds like we really pushed this. However, I would like to keep pushing it. The health department only meets once a month. And so I'm kind of like, don't miss our shot. But if we miss the end of January, beginning of February meeting, they won't meet again until end of February, beginning of March, which means it won't be going to county commission till like April. So just know wherever we put our vote of support, we're 2 months after that, probably.
And so do you need anything from planning and zoning on that, or you just said it's town council that it's the approving body? At least on
It's just town council.
Okay.
So if you have any, You know, I would say for you personally, if you want to personally talk to town council members and say, hey, I support this, it is going to impact planning and zoning because of the minimum lot size will need to match.
Okay.
So
Thank you, thank you.
that's all I got. What other things? There's one residential unit going in at the mouth of the canyon. So that house is going up and it's going up fast, so it looks good. And
Awesome.
that's all I have from building department stuff.
Does that also
Um,
connect with the ordinance review that you're doing?
Yeah, so that's what we're jumping into the last 2 weeks here in January.
Okay.
And those will in our vote to approve this project, our deadline is January 31st to get ordinance red lines out to you guys. So you'll be seeing our 2 cents on your February meeting. And I think just kind of giving you future outline, like I'll probably present that first meeting in February, tell you why we did what we did, but we also want to have some separation there between those who make decisions and those who work for town. We are just the admin body, so we'll make the suggestions, and then at your work session, planning and zoning can you guys can do your thing without hearsay from us and decide how you want things to move forward, and then we'll probably adopt it in March.
Awesome.
And I did see Aaron a little bit later on the agenda, and I don't see the agenda now, but
I can bring it back up.
if you would. We know we have a long ways to go with the building department and other things tying into the building department. And so that discussion for goals in 2026, because I cannot speak later, I just want to open it up that that would include like what things do you think are important for the building department? I'll tell you, we already have some special projects planned, but have not been approved yet to put together the website a little bit better with a lot more resources. That would be February. And we're hoping to host a community workshop in March. Those are coming down the line for town council, but they haven't been okayed yet. So outside of that, I have a long list of things to work on, but if there are things that you think are pressing for the building department that you're seeing that you need us to get cranking on, please have that as part of your discussion so that we can get those submitted as special projects. We're kind of just taking a small chunk at a time, month by month, and seeing what we can get done.
Awesome. Sounds like you have an exciting 2026 as well. Thank you. Any questions for the building department?
I have a question, and it's a logistics question that it kind of mostly fits to Erin, but also to Kristen. When I was reading today in the zoning ordinance, I just started from the top and started reading and immediately found there was a typo. There are 2 things that I'm sure we talked about changing that weren't changed, those kinds of things. So my question on logistics is, when Kristen brings forward the recommended changes and we're all working on is that when we should catch these things and make the whole process one of changing the whole ordinance at once?
As far as
Kristen-
I'm aware, if you have grammatical corrections or like clerical errors, you can just fix those.
Right, but some of
It doesn't need to be this big thing. It's just fix it.
Right, no,
If
typos
there's
are-
content though, then that needs to be voted on.
Right, and so that's the one, you're right, the typos, I should just let Erin know what I found. But on a couple of the items where, we said we wanted it, I think I remember that we were gonna change this, it didn't get changed. That should happen when we're all
Yeah, so since the zoning code and any like land use specific codes, like they have to go to public hearing, it's a whole class A
Right.
notice and everything. Yes, bring them all at the same time. I would also expect it to be a slightly longer process. I know all of your, it seems like all of your, your code has been a long process the last year, so, hopefully it won't be that long. But yes, bring all of it, because if we're gonna go ahead and do any amendments, let's get them all out of the way.
Okay, I think I realized that. I just want to bring it forward that at the work session, we should all bring what we find
Yeah.
or stuff.
Yeah, and I
Well,
would,
I don't
Go
think
ahead.
you can have a well, we always did at the county. I'm not saying that's right, but we would do public hearing and vote on it the same night, with the caveat that you had a 14-day grace period to have people go back on that. But I think how Town of Bluff is doing it is that you have the public hearing, which would be March. That means that Town of Bluff P and Z would not vote legally to adopt the ordinance changes until April. So this is going to be a bit of a long-winded process.
That's fine. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
This is a stupid question.
No.
Who is Dennis?
Sorry, so Dennis Shumway is our environmental health and water quality from San Juan Board of Health. So because we do not have our own department, we are under that jurisdiction for our septic approvals.
Great question.
And since his boss is county commission, that's why it has to go to county commission.
Thank you.
All righty. Anyone else? All righty, moving on to number 3, land use clearance approval. I did not see any come across my desk. Did anyone else see any? All righty, move along to number 4, directions for training for all P and Z commissioners. OPMA, grandma, conflict of interest, other.
oh, yeah, all right. So, looks like the next 3 are mine, you're at least gonna get a couple of them in, okay. Okay, so annually, there are, trainings that you as planning and zoning commissioners must attend. So first is OPA, which is the Open and Public Meetings Act. Essentially that means that all of the public's business is being conducted in public. So that's why we notice these meetings, we record them, we have meeting minutes, all that good stuff. I do want to make you all aware, so you're gonna go through the training, but my very quick statement is if more than 2 of you, so if 3 or more of you are meeting and discussing town business policy, things to do with planning and zoning, that is a violation of OPMA. So you are allowed to talk to a planning and zoning commissioner, social, like 1, but do not bring in the 3rd. You can attend public events together, that's just fine. But please, please, please refrain from talking about town business, not in public meetings. You do need to take the official training. I sent you some information about where you'll do that, and that's on the Utah State Auditor's website. With your town email address, which we're gonna get to both of you, with your town email address, go ahead and create a login for that. It is something that everyone needs to take annually. I already have a few of them in-house, so thank you for sending those along. If you would, please get those to me by January 31st.
Takes about 15 minutes, ladies.
It's very quick, and if you have questions, please let us know, because we want to make sure that we clarify. When in doubt, we do like to post, but again, like social events, no big deal. Just don't be talking about town business with, all 5 of you together saying, don't be doing that.
We're gonna vote this
Uh,
way.
So grandma training, so I, as the records, officer of the town, there's certain things that I do, to ensure that our public records are available, for specific periods of time. Long story short, do not delete town emails. So you can get rid of like the promotional stuff that comes your way, like hopefully your emails are not out to the public yet, but you can delete advertisements and promotional stuff. You can delete transitory, thank you. Malia has been helping me with this word for 2 weeks. So transitory emails, so that would be like a meeting invitation that is now in the past. You can delete that, that's fine. But everything else related to town business, you do need to hold on to. That is a town record and must be kept. Same goes with all of the documents that are in our shared files. So as soon as we start, working now, drafts get a little unique in terms of like how they're published and everything. But for the most part, if it's town business, keep it in there. Don't delete files, don't, do any of that stuff. If you have questions about the shared folders, which you will, Malia, we will get you training on that. Everyone has done a great job of not losing files and we have backups, so it's gonna be fine.
The basic rule is I never touch those files.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, it's there, I use it, I
Yeah.
close it.
Go in there, you're gonna get into, suggesting mode, all that good stuff. But yeah, it is town property and therefore please don't delete it. For conflict of interest statements, annually, you are required as an appointed official to fill out a conflict of interest disclosure form. I have copies here if you want to do them today. I can notarize them. Perfect. If you need a second to look these over, I am asking that they also be returned by January 31st. So you've got a little time to fill these in. And again, if you have questions, let me know. Other trainings. So this was my other, and it is going to be for everyone other. So as planning and zoning commissioners, the state of Utah passed I think it was a House bill, but don't hold me to it. But there was a law passed, 2 years ago that you must complete, 4 hours of training annually. One of those hours must be on like general land use, and I think in the checklist, it has like the actual terminology that you need to do, but it's essentially you as planning and zoning commissioners have this jurisdiction and these responsibilities. The other 3 hours can be at your discretion. I will note that one of those hours can be fulfilled by attending 12 planning and zoning meetings over the course of a year, so that's great. But I, as the, no, I'm just kidding. I highly recommend that for at least the other 2. If not, if you want to do some extra credit, there are trainings annually provided by the Utah League of Cities and Town, LUDMA, which is the Land Use Development.
Well, LUDMA itself is Land Use Development Management Act.
Yeah, so then the
But
LUDMA created the, anyway, training academies. So there are webinars on there. They host live webinars and trainings and stuff. When we find ones administratively that we recommend, oh, hey, this is kind of an interesting thing, I recommend that you take a look. But at the very least, you do need to complete 3 other hours of training. So 4 hours total. 1 is designated, 1 can be if you're like, I'm gonna make it to every planning and zoning meeting, which is great. And then the 2 are required. We also might have the opportunity if someone comes in and is hosting something here, maybe it's something live. All of the areas in which you can take the trainings are on the checklist for our continuing commissioners. Take a look at that checklist too. Just some refreshers. I have updated it a little bit this year, and there are a lot of resources out there. So if you have any questions about that training or how to get into the training portals or anything like that, just let me know. And then for the sake of me keeping track to make sure you are all in compliance when you take a training, if they provide you a certificate, amazing, send that on to me. If they don't, please send me an email saying, I have completed 1 hour of training. Here was the course. This is the date that I completed it. And maybe just one takeaway or something. And that way I know you've done it. Here's what I learned. I would also say it would be helpful for you all. I mean, awesome if you attend trainings together. If more than 3 of you are in a room, we'll talk. But I think it would also be really beneficial to have you diversify your learnings because there is a lot of land use law. Things are constantly changing after the legislative session. This year, we'll probably have even more to look at. So if you want to pick out a few key interest areas and kind of compare notes, I think that would enable each of you to come to the table. You don't have to be an expert in that category, but maybe you can say, oh, hey, I remember I attended this training. We all should take a look at that before we continue on with this conversation, something to that effect. Questions about everyone's training? Yes, Marcia.
I had 2. The first one is to some of the other things count that we did, just for example, we were all busy looking at solar lessons. We took our solar lessons. Do they count?
Oh, that's good. So
You know.
Did you learn something about, oh, I saw one in there. Did you learn something about conditional use permits during that training?
Yes, we
Yes.
did.
Amazing, that would count.
Because.
So solar specifically doesn't, but like conditional use or variances.
Because
absolutely.
it came from the Solar Company of the World title, but we took, I mean, I watched one, I know he did, I know she did, and they were great, particularly because we were working on solar stuff. You know,
It's
so.
gonna count, do check out the
The
link,
list.
because it does state like where, you know, the training should come through. A lot of places have been designated as like official training, and I think for us, it's just important that we're doing it. It didn't used to be a requirement. I know a lot of you did attend trainings anyway, but this, you know, so just go ahead and say, I've done this training, and then I'll put it in your files.
Is that new for 2026?
I believe it actually probably kicked in last year and maybe it was flew under the radar, but we are gonna be.
They added
compliant.
hours for 20.
Well, when we.
That's true, it might have been our size.
It was
Or
3
something,
hours,
yeah.
3 hours, no, it's 4 or something like that.
Something.
And the other question I had for you is, did you receive my note the other day that says I watched? You probably didn't because you've been,
I've been out and about and around.
you've just had.
I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah,
So it was for you.
That'll work.
it just said, yeah, I took this, but there's no certificate because it was a
Yes, I did see that.
video of their training.
Yes,
So,
and same for Utah League of Cities and Towns.
That's
just
where it
that,
came
like,
from,
it's a
yeah.
video, you're not gonna get any kind of certificate or anything. So send it to me.
unless it's that day's training, if you sign up for a current training, there usually is a certificate. Anyway, okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you
And
all.
actually attending 12 P and Z
Yeah.
meetings, I guess that doesn't count, work sessions don't count?
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
If you attend half of the meetings
Yep.
this year, you have 1 hour.
And if I attend 2, or is it a maximum?
No.
I attend all of
In
them.
that case, my attendance is going down. 50%?
You get the nice chick, there you go.
Is any less? I'm not
I
sure.
don't know if you should do an attendance.
No. Wow.
We'll be, it's like
I
the
will
elementary
say-
school. If you all attend all year, you get a popcorn.
Actually, what's funny about that is I never graduated from college, and so I don't have anything hanging on my wall as a you know. So I take all the little certificates and I'm thinking, this would be cool, certificate of 1 hour of solar, certificate of 1 hour. It's like, my wall can have certificates of training. I love it.
Alrighty, so time check, we're already at 6:56. This is a
Sorry,
very-
sorry.
Very heavy meeting, very
Okay.
of information, so moving on, number
Five.
5,
All right, so
onboarding checklist. which
Malia
is-
has it up. Yeah, Malia has it up right now. I sent it to everyone, especially for Caitlin and Ann. Please make sure you're looking it over. If for some reason those links aren't working or they're not going to where you thought they were, please let me know. But this is a lot of information. We are not expecting you to get fully familiarized right away. I will say that new law though does say that you should take your that 1 hour required training of like, this is the jurisdictional, you know, responsibilities of P and Z. You're actually supposed to take that one like right away. So do that one right away. Everything else, we have time for, and do OMA. Everything else, we have time for, we'll get you in. It's a lot of information. If you have questions, any of us can help familiarize you. I do not expect to have to have this done like by next meeting or even by next month. Within the next couple months, I'd say you should be pretty well through this. There are some very lengthy documents, like that league handbook, that's like a 200-page document, so pace
There will be a
yourselves,
quiz.
pace yourselves.
Yes.
Amazing.
It is very helpful.
Yeah, and just a good reminder for the rest of you, there is an updated training, Utah League Training Handbook 2. I think it's the 2025 version.
Land use authority.
Oh, yeah, that handbook.
Yeah.
So feel free to take a look. The graphics are still as dorky as they were before.
Yay.
Wouldn't expect anything.
Alrighty. Any questions?
I think this is great. Thank you for putting this document together.
Thank you all. Thank you for Amanda for getting us started on it. And yeah, there's just lots of materials. Lots of good resources.
So do most of these require our Bluff address to go into?
Most of the links do not, any of the, if it like that civic link one would, and then the Utah State Auditor's website does. Most of the other ones do not. The OTMA meeting, that's that one. Yeah, so, yep, good question. moving on to number 6. So we were kind of talking about procedural timelines, agendas. You all are keeping the same first and third Thursday of the month. Because of we, have 2 full-time paid staff members. And there are a lot of requirements, for like when, I mean, you all did great in terms of like getting your meetings posted, having them physically posted, all of that good stuff. But in order to simplify, especially now that like I'm the note taker for planning and zoning, Emily is the note taker for town council, and those notes have to go to all of the places that we're already posting on. I am probably going to take on formatting the agendas. So the chair will facilitate, getting the agenda set up, but I'll handle all of the postings, physical, virtual. In order to accomplish that and make our lives a little bit easier though, what we had kind of talked about, Marcia kind of in as vice chair a little bit too, was having agendas finalized by Mondays. Was that right? Totally finalized by Mondays, and that way you guys could have the agenda packets that same day. So then you've got most of the week to look through it. Town council is doing something similar. Our agendas are now going to be finalized on Fridays, so they have almost 4 full days to look through. So are there any concerns with that? We're
We've
hoping to
already-
make it easy.
We've already had the deadline for submissions is a week earlier. So if the meeting was on today, it was last Thursday for submissions from people. Then we look it over and submit, hey, wait a minute, you forgot training. We put it on there, but we were waiting till almost the day
This makes
before.
way more
It
sense,
does.
yeah.
And
So
so
that
we
was a
just said,
scramble to make sure everyone looked at it before we.
And there's-
yeah, I love
There's
it.
a lot of materials, like
Beautiful.
it's a lot of pages to look through. Which then leads into agenda packets, so you would be receiving those by Monday, end of day, hopefully earlier. Similar to how agenda packets were coming out for you all, our shared files, because you often are working together in shared files, it'll be similar to like the email layout where they're just linked. So you'll just like click on the link in the email and it'll take you to the shared file. Again, commenting or suggesting mode as opposed to full edits. And that way we can keep things organized in each of the respective folders, which we'll go through. But those agenda packets will kind of remain the same. Thanks to Amanda for setting up such a nice, clean process for us. So given that administratively things are kind of moving to paid staff members, I don't know if there are any necessarily any specific assignments for planning and zoning commissioners.
Checking the planning and zoning email, the shared email.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, so shared email, Marcia has been doing that.
I'm happy to take that on as part of the vice chairmanship that I have been assumed.
that's fine.
Did
I
have
was,
assumed? Did I have assumed?
you had this.
Yes, I'd be happy to do
You
that.
assumed that you're doing.
I assume that I'll answer those emails. No.
That's fine.
Great.
I hereby relinquish control of the shared file to shared email to you. I am compulsively checking emails during the day. It's possible I will still look, but I won't.
Do it.
touch.
I love it.
I love it.
Look, but I
That's
won't
great.
touch.
I-
No, that'd be great.
There's a record if you touch it, so.
Yeah, yeah, don't touch it.
Sorry.
I'm gonna look and go, oh my God, there's 4 emails. You better look. It's so rare.
I sounded it. Well, it didn't sound like too overwhelming.
Anything else on number 6? Sorry, gonna keep us on
No,
time.
you're
It's
good.
7:02.
No, you got it. I guess it's good.
We're doing
We're
good.
supposed to go back.
We got things to do. There's people coming in, gonna
It's
set up
open to-
more chairs.
You'll sit here and sign things and put up.
Oh, yeah, right.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got mine
so
ready to
next
go.
up is discussion of goals for 2026. I
Mm.
don't wanna spend too much time on this, but I'm gonna pull up our goals from 2025, just so that it's something in front of us. And this is gonna be our homework for this
Good.
week until for the
Perfect.
next one. So reviewing our goals that we set from the last year, and then we can mark some things off, probably. And then, we only have Brian and
We-
Marcia.
I don't-
I think that,
Brian and Marcia were the only one that set goals last year.
I think we.
I have another document. I'll combine them all together and
Yeah.
share those out.
Seems-
I think those were notes taken for, or that we submitted to.
Oh, I see, I
Yep.
see, yeah. And so what we typically do at the end of at the beginning of each year is what do we want to accomplish this year? You know, what is a goal? This is, and we just say things that we'd like to do, and then we'll come together at our first meeting next week next month. We're moving to weekly. And we'll discuss those and then figure out ways to make those attainable. And it could even be, I want us to work on this ordinance. I see this need.
Mhm.
And so it can be something really big that might not be accomplished in 2026, but it could even be that we have to start it. And then as Kristen said, adding those building department suggested ordinance updates. So it sounds like we have some good things to do between now and April anyway. And then if we have additional ideas. So anyone have any thoughts on that at this time for goals of 26?
And I think it's a great work session,
Yeah,
agenda item is
Yeah.
to just talk that out.
yeah.
Are we having a work session this
Uh-huh.
month?
Not this month. So this month is,
Oh,
the
it's
meeting that we're
end.
currently in would have been our work session, but since we canceled our first meeting of the month because it was New Year's Day, this is our only meeting this month, and then our first meeting next month will be another regular meeting.
So the 5th of February, which would be the first Thursday,
Yeah,
and then the 19th.
Oh, so we'll have a meeting before our work session,
so
yeah.
we'll put it on the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can
That seems
write
like
it.
a great
Yeah.
idea.
Okay,
But also-
I just wanted to be able.
Sorry, I messed that up by saying work session.
Sounds like
Yeah,
we're
you got it.
gonna hit the ground running with a few things that need to be
Yeah.
done too, so
Yeah.
that'd be great. Cool.
Anything else for number 7, discussion of goals for 26?
Can't wait to hear whatever everybody has to say. I
Goals.
can't wait to hear your goals.
One of the things in our bylaws, I'm sorry. One of the things in our bylaws is that we're supposed to have a joint session with town council in order to determine some of the things that we'll be doing, and what our goals look like and their goals for us. So that I will leave to staff notes is, do you want to talk to them and see what they'd like to do with us?
Great.
That's it.
Great catch.
No.
Thank you. There is definitely a meeting or two before our next meeting.
Right,
with
right.
town council, so that worked
Yeah.
out. Awesome. Items for next agenda. Number 8.
Just adding 7.
We
to-
just gave.
Yeah,
we just
exactly.
gave-
Yeah, besides that,
That's
great.
Uh-oh, you're allergic to meetings?
Ah, no.
Awesome. So we'll continue to keep land use clearance on, so. For everyone's information, old business today, the update from town council and from the building department, that will be on our regular meetings, but not on our work sessions. So next week I'm just gonna keep saying
Yeah.
next week. Next meeting will still have those updates, but the second meeting in February will not. Same with public comment. We only have public comment during regular meetings, not during work session, as well as approval of meeting minutes, so. Regular meetings are gonna be a bit heftier at the beginning, just with all of the regular business, and then work sessions, we'll be able to jump right in and start working on stuff.
But work sessions are open to the public, so we still
Yes.
put out a couple chairs
Yeah.
and have people come listen to us yell at each other.
Calmly
wanted to
discuss.
Calmly discuss, but I wanna do this.
Awesome. Any others? Number 9.
Welcome to our new commissioners. Thank you guys for joining our squad. Squad rules.
Squad
I don't
rules.
know what that means, but glad you're here. Glad to see what we can do together. Thanks for taking.
Excited to see your goals.
Yeah, excited to read everyone's goals formatted well.
Yeah.
Borrow that pen back for a quick second,
Yep.
just to make sure I can
Sure.
get this.
Yeah.
Oh, and I would like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting then, because the meeting's still going.
7:07.
Okay, meeting adjourned
Second.
7:07.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
You can adjourn.
Sorry, I just realized, I was like, oh wait. Right,
Mary,
that
you
then.
want us to wait